Well, I think that social investment can firstly replace the traditional reliance upon grants. And I think social investment can help social enterprises and voluntary sector organisations become more business-like.
As a local charity, we're continually expanding and looking to grow. This has become more challenging with local grants being reduced. So social investment just seems the way forward, especially with response to youth work in Devon and how we could potentially take over some youth centres and running of those.
Well, we currently look after children from local authorities and always looking for ways in which we can help more of them. I think social investment will allow us to do that in a socially responsible way.
And to see sort of how it fits into the wider funding mix for third sector organisations.
Our primary need is to skill us up, I think, in terms of an organisation. We do have an operating board at the moment, but we do need to develop that into a board that is capable of carrying the project forward into an investable proposition. We probably need some help in terms of developing our business planning.
I think for many of the groups I work with, we're talking traditionally charities, maybe community-led organisations that are taking on an asset or a service like a pub or a shop. I think they would need to feel confident in their ability to repay the sorts of investment channels that we're talking about, you know, loans and such. There's been a tradition of perhaps surviving on grants.
I think that too often social investment is seen as purely a financial investment, but there needs to be upfront support for people management, training, systems development, and for customer service training as well. On an ongoing basis, there needs to be support for directors and for trustees and for governance within those organisations.
If they can generate income streams and service loans and the like, pay investors back, whether that's shareholders or whatever, it means that they're in a position to perhaps survive without the need of grants all the time, which is great because in the long term they can carry on what they do without being dependent on that sort of stuff.
We have had investment before with one of our properties, and that was very useful in terms of the business plan and what was needed, and the support that we got at that time was really critical really for us moving forward in terms of ensuring that we had the capacity to meet the payments, that it did actually increase our productivity as an organisation. And just knowing that there was somebody there at the end of the phone, really, if we had any issues.
Just hearing about readiness for social investment has been really interesting today, and has just flagged up some issues there in terms of what we would need to start thinking about, specifically around risk and how we manage risk, and also just how we govern ourselves as a charity. So I think that would be really helpful before we get going, so I'd be really interested to look into the fund.
After we've had all the support and the business is up and running, I think we would need business support continuing, because obviously there's going to be pitfalls and there's going to be other ways of maybe drawing in money. For instance, I've just attended a workshop about crowdfunding, and this is something that I hadn't considered before that I might well consider once we're up and running. So I think I'm going to need those kind of people to keep on keeping it fresh.
Afterwards, I just think that ongoing support of people that have been in the business world that are willing to help a charity grow into that. I think that charities are very good at doing the social impact stuff, but not very good at kind of tracking, evaluating, and I think that we can grow certainly a lot in that area.
It would be useful for the organisations to understand how they can inform other organisations and other voluntary sector organisations and even public sector and private sector partners how they can build their social investment for the future, so the learner becomes the teacher.